All right, how we doing today? Beautiful day out there, nice and sunny, warm. But the most important thing today, guys, is as I always say, and I said it to you, I think on Thursday, is that we come out of the spring game healthy, and we did that today. I think I told you a story about Desmond being, hurt a year ago. It just will drive you nuts. So coming out of it healthy was the only key. Anytime someone gets hurt, it becomes even more important. So I think we got a lot of work done. I was happy with where we ended. Would have liked to see our kicking game be a little cleaner. I think anytime you split your offensive line, that's the hardest thing to do, and so that's always going to hurt you. But we saw enough in 14 practices to know who we are and what we can do. That I'm happy. One of the things I got to mention, I don't think I mentioned it to you guys yet, but our strength staff and our trainers did an unbelievable job. I've never seen this in all my years. Chris Hanks, our trainer, never saw it in all his years. We went through 15 days of practice, and we got some guys banged up. We didn't have one soft tissue issue at the entire spring. Not one hamstring, groin, nothing. That's unbelievable. That's a heck of a job, our strength staff, and again, our kids obviously paid attention and doing what they need to do. But to not have one soft tissue issue the entire spring is unheard of. So I'll leave that with you guys for questions.
What did you see out of Caden and Nick today, and how they're capping spring?
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell with mishmash of receivers. Jordan didn't play, and not having your normal weapons for either one of them there today. We'll go back and look at the tape. I know Nick had two nice passes, one to Kanate, and one to Jaden Brad, or to I guess it was Jared Wayne. I think he had two big passes, which were good to see. I don't know who they were against on defense, so you don't know what the matchup was there. So you got to go back and look at that. But two nice passes by Nick. They both, obviously, Nick won the game, and then I thought Keaton was good with what he had out there. Threw some balls to Jaden Bradley, and and had some drops. I think Jalen Barton had a drop in the end zone. I think Gavin had a drop in the end zone. But I thought just he was had some of the short passing game that was pretty good. I don't think he had any deep shots. I don't think. That I can recall, and but he did have one pick on a three-step that I think Shane Simon jumped in front of it and did a nice job.
How much of the offense did you leave on the shelf today?
I'd say a lot of it, and that's probably why a linebacker jumps on something, because he's maybe seen it already, today or whatever. But we left a lot on the shelf. There's a lot.
The last few years, you've had very experienced linebackers who were used to being starters in your system to help play at the speed that you're used to. What did you see from a lot of those guys like Bengali, like Solomon, who are learning what it's like in a live situation to play this?
Yeah, and again, you have to go back and watch the tape to see. They may have stopped. There wasn't many points scored, but you really have to go back. And I can tell you, Solomon's been good. Bengali's been good. Shane Simon's been really good. Obviously Servacier's been good, playing different positions. So it's hard to tell without. And it's the same thing with the quarterback. So I don't want to, say too much or too little. We'll know more when we watch the videotape. You'll know more tonight on the ACC network. Maybe you can watch it and rewind it and see what happened there. But I didn't see any big runs for the most part, and so I think the linebackers played okay. I know. Linebackers probably the weakness, if you had to say there was a weakness, but I'm not disappointed at all where they are and what they've done this spring at all. So I think we're going to be fine, and I think you saw that today.
Daniel Carter winning the Conway Award for the offensive end and then having 2 touchdowns today. What did you see out of him today, and then obviously throughout the spring for him to get that?
It's just a little bit. To me, it's a process, and Daniel's just had a really good spring, running the football when he's got the opportunities. Blocking when he's had opportunities to be the lead back for Vince or Izzy or whoever it is. But he's taken on that role where a year ago it was like, blocking, being F. So he's unselfish, and we appreciate that part of him. And, again, he can carry the ball. He can hurt you out of the backfield in the pass game. He can do a lot of different things. So it's just he's been playing at a high level, which is good. He's a hard guy to tackle. He's 240 pounds and rolling downhill.
How do you kind of approach, how do Nick and Keaton approach the offseason from this point forward up until fall camp?
I think the same way they've approached it going into spring ball. It's the same thing. They just go out and try to be, the best they can, and we just continue to go. Both of them have a new offense under the belt. They're both trying to learn it, and and I think you can win with both quarterbacks right now. So it's a good problem to have.
I guess maybe for someone that doesn't really know the college football offseason, I mean, what kind of transpires over the next couple of months until training camp?
Okay, so going through the calendar here, the next 2 weeks they got classes, and then again the weight room will be open for those guys. They'll go throw like they do by themselves. There'll be no coach around them, and then have a week of finals. They'll go home for 2 weeks, and when they come back, they're going, and they'll have 7-on-7. They'll be in the weight room. They'll be lifting, running, and they'll be running the whole offense by themselves. We'll give them installs. They go do it on their own. So that's what will happen all the way up until August, pretty much.
You often talk about procedural penalties and needing to avoid those, or saw some false starts here and there. How did you grade out your group?
I mean, again, just different quarterbacks, and even near the end when we got, I think we got all 5 quarterbacks in there. Eli out there, Jake Frantel. It's going to happen. Some of those, just when it's different guys calling the cadence and so forth. So I thought overall it was not a bad day. I don't know how many penalties we had on the day, but again, typical of a spring game, I guess.
What do you think of your scholarship punter today?
He was okay. Was not real happy on the one that he dropped, and he kind of didn't know what to do with it. So he's a freshman, I guess, a 24-year-old freshman, and he's had a great spring. You come into Heinz Field, you got to punt the ball, and so that was not good.
Do you have anything final?
Yeah, defensive line, pass rush, been a big strength of the team the last few years. A lot of local guys. I saw David Green with a sack, Nakai Johnson with a sack, Danielson with the forced fumble, and Hayes a sack or a half sack as well. So what were your thoughts on the way the younger guys especially performed today?
Dayon Hayes is really, I sat with him and his family a little bit this morning, him and Kai. I mean, both those guys are, Dayon's 1 year ahead, but Dayon has really played at a high level and gotten better. So we're excited about that. And Kai's taking that next step. I mean, the last half of spring ball, he really, he cranked it up a bunch. So we're happy, we'll look at the tape and find out, but I think they both played solid games today.
John, let's take the last one.
How did the players react to getting their rings before the game? And I guess is that the last thing for you guys to put the title behind you and go into the offseason?
It is, it is. They were excited. I didn't see all their faces, but as you walked around the different tables, you could see that they're talking about it. So to get that championship ring, something they worked hard for, they've been talking about winning it, getting it, and then to win the championship and then finally get that ring and get that reward. I think it's something special that they'll have a keepsake forever and ever and ever. So they're excited.